Paradise restored, the king and the captive. Luke 23 verse 40-43, the pattern of the paradise. Even in his final moments of physical agony, Jesus was actively demonstrating the nature of the kingdom he was building. We see this in the exchange between Christ and the two thieves. While one joined the world in mocking the Savior, the other experienced a radical transformation of the heart. In Luke 23 verses 40 and 41, this man acknowledges his own just condemnation and recognizes the perfect righteousness of Christ. He didn't ask for a physical rescue from the cross. He asked for a place in the king's future. The petition of faith. His plea in verse 42 is profound. Lord, remember me when thou comest into thy kingdom. This thief saw what the religious leaders missed, that the man dying next to him was not a victim, but a sovereign savior. He understood that the kingdom wasn't a political revolution, but a spiritual territory that could be entered even from the threshold of death. He looked past the bruised heel of the suffering Savior and saw the King who would crush the head of the enemy. Paradise restored. Jesus' response in verse 43 provides the ultimate assurance. Verily I say unto thee, today shalt thou be with me in paradise. This paradise isn't a distant, unreachable place. It is the restoration of what was lost in Genesis. By promising the thief a place in paradise today, Jesus was declaring that his victory over the grave was already operational. The finished work of the cross serves as the deed to the new earth, building the new reality. How does this apply to the kingdom Christ is using us to build? The thief became the first lively stone in the spiritual house mentioned in 1 Peter. He was the first captive led in the host of captives during the ascension. This shows us that the paradise promised to the thief is the same kingdom we are called to manifest today. When we feed the hungry or comfort the broken, we are expanding the borders of that paradise. We aren't just waiting to go to where the thief is, we are working by using love to make this world reflect the mercy the thief received. The point: the thief's entrance into paradise was the first evidence that the seed of victory had sprouted. The kingdom we build today is simply the continuation of that promise, a world where the justly condemned are made unashamed through the King's grace. The restoration of the royal fellowship. Here is a comparison highlighting how the encounter between Christ and the thief on the cross reverses the tragedy of the fall in Genesis and establishes the foundation for the kingdom we are building today. The fall in Genesis 3, the tree of knowledge, disobedience versus the restoration in Luke 23. The tree of the cross, obedience. The fall in Genesis 3, the sentence, dust thou art, unto dust shalt thou return. The restoration in today shalt thou be with me in paradise. The fall in Genesis 3, the barrier cherubim and a flaming sword bar the way. The restoration in the veil is rent, the way to the king is opened. The fall in Genesis 3, the offense, taking what was forbidden to be like God's. The restoration in acknowledging sin and submitting to the true God. The fall in Genesis 3. The promise, the serpent will bruise the heel. The restoration in Luke 23. The Savior, though bruised, delivers the keys of the kingdom building. The fall in Genesis 3. The outcome, exile from the garden, paradise lost. The restoration in entry into the kingdom, paradise regained. Closing reflection. This matters because the kingdom isn't a plan B, it is the original plan restored. When we work to build the kingdom today, we aren't just performing good works, we are acting as the King's representatives to bring that paradise reality into the broken places of our world. The thief saw the kingdom when it was invisible to the world. Our mission is to manifest that kingdom until it becomes visible to everyone. The same grace that reached across the gap between two crosses is the grace that empowers us to reach the vulnerable and the forgotten today. If the cross is the tree, Then the promise of paradise is the life-giving sap flowing through every branch of the kingdom we build. Conclusion: the root of our reality. The cycle completed. We began in a garden where a promise was made in the shadow of a fall. We traveled to a hill where a king reclaimed what was lost, speaking a word of today to a man who had no tomorrow. Now, we stand as the fruit of that encounter. The paradise promised to the thief was not a retirement from reality, but the beginning of a new creation. The living foundation. The kingdom Christ is building through us today is the same paradise reaching into the present. Every time we act in love, every time we seek justice for the forgotten, and every time we offer grace to the justly condemned, we are planting the seeds of that paradise here on earth. We aren't just building a religion. We are tending the tree of truth that started in Genesis and was watered by the blood of the Lamb. A final charge. So as you go out today, remember the thief. Remember that the King's authority to transform a life and a world is absolute. You are the lively stones of his house. You are the evidence of his victory. Walk unashamed, work with joy, and live as citizens of the paradise that is already among us. The root is deep, the work is finished, and the kingdom is here. Key takeaway for the listeners. Paradise isn't just where we go when we die. It is the atmosphere we bring to the world because Christ lives within us. When we walk with Christ in us, then those that are lost, stolen away by the desires of this world, can now see through us the promised paradise for all who will walk in the same faith. For we walk hand in hand as children of the Father in his promise.